wanted to make a video about how I'm feeling about what happened with Charlie Kirk and what I think this means both legally and for the future of our country. And I've been sitting here now for 20-ish, maybe half an hour, pausing and restarting and deleting and refreshing because I am genuinely at a loss of words. If you have watched any of my videos in the last month and a half, you'll notice that a lot of them start with like just a bunch of big old commanding, okay, let's talk. And if you go earlier, it's a lot of them start with a, hey, welcome back to the King's Court. And I genuinely didn't know how to start this video. So this is how I'm starting it. The assassination, because that's what it is. It is an assassination of Charlie Kirk. Is going to be a moment in time for this country. A moment that I don't think compares to much that I've experienced in my life. Outside of 9/11, I don't know what else is bigger, what else is worse. Even the attempted assassination of President Trump last July does not, in my opinion, compare to this. They're close, but as has been said many times, Trump campaigned. Trump put himself out there, and it was big. Like he had this presence of possibly being a victim. Like, the shooting of presidents happened before. But Charlie Kirk was just a guy that went onto college campuses and spoke and listened and had conversations. He wasn't running a campaign. He wasn't trying to be the leader of a nation. He shouldn't have been at risk. But this is what happens when the media spends a decade. It is September 2025, and the media has spent 10 years vilifying Donald Trump and those who support him. They've spent 10 years telling the millions and now hundreds of thousands of people that watch their news stations that Donald Trump is a threat to this country, that those who support him are a threat to this country. They have spent millions of dollars to inform us that MAGA and MAHA and all this stuff is a direct threat to the democracy of this country. And sure, every now and then they lose a defamation suit. But compared to the millions of dollars in damages that their rhetoric has caused, it's nothing. They've pushed false statement after false statement after false flag, telling us that Donald Trump is responsible for this. J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, sat there in a news conference 30 minutes after Kirk was shot and killed and said Donald Trump's rhetoric is the reason that this happened. Bullshit. The person's rhetoric who's at fault here is Joy Reid and Van Jones and those people who have sat there on CNN, MSNBC, that crazy woman on the 5 on Fox that have sat there and said, look at what Donald Trump's doing to our democracy. Look at what he is destroying. Look at his Yahtzee supporters. Look at the Nazi salute that Elon Musk did. My heart goes out to y'all. They have sat there and spew nothing but hate. You want to talk about hate speech? Look in your own fucking mirror. Charlie Kirk might have been president one day. There is there there isn't a person alive today that had more of a pulse on the American firmament than Charlie Kirk. He knew exactly what needed to be done to keep this country going forward. And what they have destroyed, what they killed beyond a father of two and a husband and a leader and a friend, someone who we have heard story after story over the last 5 hours about the good that Charlie Kirk did beyond starting Turning Point USA, just helping people. Benny Johnson's story about him putting him up in his house so that he could find somewhere to be safe. The media has used the First Amendment, and look, we all know this on this channel. I'm an attorney. I think that the First Amendment is one of the greatest things the founders wrote. I think it is one of the things that makes this country so incredible. When we look at the world today, when we look at what's going on in Britain and Brazil and all these other countries who's having people's voice shut down because it's an unpopular opinion or it might hurt the feelings of a migrant. That doesn't happen in this country because we have a First Amendment right to say what we want. But the media has used that First Amendment right of the freedom of press as a sword against us and a shield for them. They've used it as a shield to protect them from being held accountable for the hate that they spew. And they've used it as a sword to cut down the people who have questioned them, who have sat there and said, no, you can't say that. That's not right. And they said, it doesn't matter if it's right. We'll print a retraction on page 30 on our Saturday issue. They don't care about the truth. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know what happens tomorrow. I don't know what Donald Trump is going to do. I don't know what these crazy leftists who have spent all day trying to tweet that, oh, violence has no place in America, when they have advocated for violence since day one. They have sat there and said, I don't know why people aren't protesting in the street. You had someone on MSNBC today say that Charlie Kirk deserved it. And he hasn't been fired. That was 7 hours ago. And he hasn't been fired. If it was ever turned around, there would be buildings on fire. There were. 2020, they burned a city to the ground because a drug addict, wife beater, pregnant woman beater got killed. And someone that hadn't hurt a person in his life was assassinated today. And they don't care. You don't hate them enough. And so what my message is right now, hold your family close. Love your daughters, your sons, your brothers, your sisters, your mothers, and your fathers, your uncle, all of them. Love them. Be as close to Christ as you can. But never forget. Never forget what they said. Never forget what they did. When you hear someone say something, do not turn the other cheek. Do not be quiet about it. Speak out. Tell them that's not okay. Do what Charlie would have done. and do it for your family. Don't do it for me. Do it for your family. Because one day they'll come after you. And by then there'll be no one to say anything. That's it.